Hi, it's Mr. Koh again. Today, I'm here to talk about gerrymandering, the issue with gerrymandering, the issue with how gerrymandering basically affects the chances of the PAP winning, in this coming, 2025. So, whenever there's a SMC or GRC, with high opposition vote count, there will always, be a GRC to absorb the particular SMC with the highest amount of opposition vote count higher than the PAP1 or even closer to the PAP1, or when there is a GRC with a high percentage of opposition vote count, the GRC will then be sliced up into smaller SMCs, to prevent, the residents there for voting more on the opposition rather than the PAP. The PAP always uses the argument that the GRC, including the SMC system, especially the GRC system, is introduced to actually, give minorities more representation in politics, especially during election times, However, I really want to ask whether, the GRCs can actually be reshaped, into a optimized shape, where Toa Payoh, for example, Toa Payoh GRC will just be shaped into the size of Toa Payoh estate itself, rather than Toa Payoh GRCs absorbing, smaller SMCs just because the particular SMC has a higher, percentage of opposition vote count, Or how about, for example, some GRCs, can they not be sliced up to smaller SMCs when there's, a very strong team from the opposition side, with a higher chance of winning the elections, getting into parliament, winning the elections, winning that particular GRC, just because the PAP wants to win, which the PAP is always say, they always say, the argument, that, the elections are fair. Yet elections are fair. Yes, correct. Elections are fair without intimidation. However, elections are not transparent without gerrymandering. That is really the crux of the problem, which the PAP always denies. The PAP always goes roundabout, from central, east, west, north, there's always gerrymandering involved, with the PAP, even, going the extra mile, giving out freebies, towards residents, towards Singaporeans, just to buy votes, like whenever you meet, your MP for MPS, for Meet the People sessions, they will always give you free things, so that you can vote for that particular MP rather than the opposition one, since they are trying to buy you the votes, they are trying to buy votes from you, by giving out freebies to you, especially for your MPS sessions, your Meet the People sessions, Don't really fall for this trick. It's a very old school trick of just giving out freebies, trying to buy your votes. Another way, another way of winning the elections for them is building new stuff, through construction. For example, they will always make the point that if you vote us in your, into your particular GRC or SMC, we will say, for example, construct a new train line for you, or a new sheltered walkway for you, or maybe even construct, a new highway just beside your town, so that you can drive towards the CBD area, so that you can vote for us, They always try to buy your votes with new construction projects, new fancy construction projects with noise pollution, lots of noise pollution, lots of unwanted, foreign workers coming in, including the debris, the toxic debris, flying around like, mud or like rocks, especially, if you accidentally step onto some sharp rock, even a small little sharp rock on the ground, just from a nearby construction site, you can get injured, just because of that. Okay, so there's really the three ways for them to win a G that they always love to use, that I know so far. Okay, it's gerrymandering first. Second is actually giving out freebies. The third way is actually building new construction projects, promoting it to you so that you can vote them in, They always tell you, if I, the PAP, built for you this new train line, you must vote for me. They always having the hidden message, for one-to-one exchange, behind their niceties, including their facade of emotion that rings hollow towards Singaporeans, concerns over other things, They always do this, Whenever they build new construction projects, Yes, it makes the skyline look nicer, however, at the end of the day, no one asks for new construction projects, no one asks for a new train line every day, especially every day nearing the G, day by day, the empty promises, that they usually give, by giving out freebies, then later promising you that, I, or he or she later will claim, make empty promises, then says, I will conduct more MPS sessions, more Meet the People sessions with you, however, almost for at least, at least for most of the years, I know, the MP sessions, the Meet the People session is usually conducted only once a week, it's not multiple times a week. More than one time, you won't even see a minister, you won't even see a MP, you won't see a MP since he or she chooses to just make empty promises like, this or that I will do for you, this or that, so that he or she later will claim I'll do for you this or that. Then he or she will ask you to vote for him or her just because he or she loves to make promises to you. So please, at the end of the day, don't fall for all these PAP traps, all these traps, all these landmines. Hope to see you again. Like, subscribe, share, comment, view this video. Thank you for watching again once again. Thank you.